The last thing I want to talk about in this module is journaling. All of the different breakthroughs I've had that I've referenced in this module have come through journaling. These breakthroughs include realizing I was afraid to make bad art, and that was what was keeping me from practicing. Realizing I wouldn't sit down to draw unless I had 4 hours to make something perfect. And realizing that setting a huge goal like drawing every day for 100 days, even though it felt counterintuitive, was what I needed to do to stop putting off practicing. So you might be wondering, how did you get to those breakthroughs? What did you write in your journal? I'm going to read you a sample journal entry. This isn't actually from my journal, but I bet if I went and looked in, it would be almost exactly like this. So, okay, ready? Dear journal. I didn't actually write that, but I didn't know how else to start. I don't think I'll ever be good at drawing. It seems to come so easily to others, but it feels so hard for me. Is that a sign that I shouldn't be pursuing this? Should I have been an engineer like my high school calculus teacher said? Math was never this hard for me. I probably should have done something with math, but math doesn't pull at me like art does. Why am I pulled to do something that doesn't feel easy and doesn't feel like I'm good at it? If I'm pulled so much toward art, no matter how much it pains me to pursue it, that must mean something. Maybe I should stop wondering if I should go after it and just go after it already. Okay, so if I'm going to put aside the wondering and just go after it, what do I need to do? I need to stop complaining and just start practicing. What I'm doing right now isn't working. I am letting days and weeks go by without drawing. If what Andy J. Pizza says is right, and I need to set a big goal so that if I even get halfway there, I've still accomplished a ton, then I think it's time to do that. That feels really scary. What if I completely fail at this? How will that make me feel? Well, right now, I already feel pretty icky about the progress that I'm making, so it probably can't get any worse. Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do the 100-day project. I will draw every day for 100 days and see what happens. This is scary, but I can do this. Where will I be in 100 days? I can't wait to find out. So, do you see how I kept asking myself questions and then answering them and coming up with solutions? I do this all the time. I was recently working on a new class and I wanted to include a guide to go with it, but I was circling and circling in my mind about how to go about that. So I went to my journal, which is currently a Google Doc, and I wrote about my thoughts, my concerns, and after 5 minutes, I had the answer and I knew what I needed to do. I'd spent an hour thinking about it, but when I actually put my thoughts down in writing, I was able to identify my next step more clearly. There's something about journaling that is unlike anything else. I could talk to my husband for hours about something, trying to make a decision, and sometimes not come to a conclusion. But when I sit down to journal, for some reason, I almost always see what I need to do. It's crazy. And something that's pretty cool about journaling is a few weeks, months, or years later, you can look back at what you wrote and realize how far you've come. It's so satisfying to look back at a time when you were struggling with something you never thought you'd find your way through. And now, not only have you moved past that, you've accomplished more than that older version of yourself thought was possible. Sometimes we don't see how far we've come until we reflect back at where we used to be.